Lollipop, standing by. There 41 here, but sure you don't wait any time clear, but sure no 2 days about it. And 41 I know cover a little bit rough out here for sure. That's not a little bit rough out here. 41, you know what I'm saying? Lollipop, standing by.
Remember Dr. 1-2.
The 41, you take it easy until we do it again, you know, say, lollipop, I hold up your radio, you buy it?
Got that beat for conditions over here.
Yeah, Roger, this stuff I ain't want to tell 41, you say hello. Hey, stuff I ain't want to tell 41, you say hello. 40, hey, 41, I pass the time and keep your life, stuff I ain't to tell you hello.
Mobile.
Around the Great Lakes, you know, say, lollipop, I see you, bye, yeah?
Bye. Oh, doggone it, you over in the Bahamas? Man, you tell Lollipop, she's lucky I don't live in Jamaica still. Man, if I lived in Jamaica still, I would have get in the boat and row across the Bahamas and cut them strings there. Fuck
Alright, this was the receive of this Tram TR-27E. Face has some wear on it. Looks like they had maybe a sticker or something over that, and you know, scratch here. But you know, from a distance, you know, the face doesn't look bad. This doesn't look great. However, this is a recent purchase, and this is why I bought it. Is because I haven't even dusted it yet. It's got a little bit of dust in there, but that's the reason I bought it. I think that's self-explanatory, right? Haven't done anything with that. It's like it was pictured when I bought this off of Fleabay. And I already had one. I had this one here, which is my, I actually got a couple, which was the best one that I had before I got this one, but this one looked better. At least on the inside, the face is kind of the same. Or the face on that one might even look a little better, even though it's got that spots right there. And here's the other side of this, the underneath. Only thing I did so far is recap it and tune the receive in. It does transmit. Got a little bit of fine tuning to go through. We're going to leave it as stock as possible, but you know, normally I get 8-9 pounds of noise level that makes listening and CBing almost intolerable. But I'm so happy with this radio. Gets rid of most of that noise level, and the audio and the selectivity on this are prime. I am surprised, even though I've heard people say that this is the best, one of the best receiving radios they've ever had, and definitely the best tram receiving radio. And I thought to myself, how can that be when this is basically a pre-Tram Titan 1 AM only, and the Tram Titan 1 basically added the Collins filter to this. But some of the experts say that the Collins filter is great on rejection. You know, it's got a nice band pass, but you get a little bit of harmonics out of that Collins filter. You don't get a totally pure sound. And that's from some of the experts. And they say that, you know, a radio like this with no Collins filter or no crystal filter, the audio quality be better. And just judging by this one, you know, original speaker, original everything except the electrolytics have been replaced. The audio quality is superb. I definitely say the best tram I've ever had, and maybe the best receiving radio I've ever had, this TR-27E. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish off the second one and do the 2-for-1 deal. And I plan on keeping this one, even though the face ain't perfect. But you know, it's not too often you'll run into a radio that's probably from, I would say, the 60s. Sam CB10 covers this early radio. Just hard to find that look like this. Of course, I wish the face was better, but still. And one last comment I'm going to make. I'm going to turn it off before I stick my fingers in here, even though basically a radio won't kill you unless you're in bad health already. What brought Browning and Drake to fame back in the early tube radio days is they invented a better coil. The coil had more gain, a better band pass, and less loss than the best coils that were out during the time. And therefore, when Browning started making CB radios with that coil, and also I hear some hams always talking about, you know, the Brownings can't have that good of specs. The only thing that has that good of specs is Drake. Well, back in the early days, Browning Drake was one corporation, and it was called the Browning Drake Corporation in the very early days. And they made some general coverage receivers, and they made AM tube stereo, well, it wasn't stereo, tube mono receiver too back in the day. But then as ham and CB started coming along back in those early days, Drake said, I'm going to make ham, and Browning said, I'm going to make CB. So they split up, and they both used the, you know, the coil that they invented that was patented and, you know, better than anything else. And hence, that's why Brownings and Drakes have the best specs of any ham and CB tube radios made. You know, even better than Collins. You know, Collins came out with the mechanical filter, which is nice, but Browning and Drake had this, which gave them better specs and nobody else could compete, you know, at the time. There's one problem with this type of can here, which is the, you know, original better can they came out with. Over decades, this can has some extremely tiny silver mica capacitors internally in it. And the silver mica has a tendency to dry rot and short out in the internal teeny tiny cap. And it is a real super pita to get the can out and then, you know, deal with extremely fine wires and, you know, get the cap out. And the caps are different values, very small values like 2 picofarad or 3.7 picofarad, etc. And replace them silver mica caps. If you find early Browning that has these and it hasn't been stored well, you know, moisture helped kill them silver micas, and also heat. You'll often find that every single IF can for them are bad, and it's usually not cost effective for somebody to go in and fix or replace, you know, every single can. So when I see people, you know, looking at Browning, you know, R27S23s and the early Brownings, and they say, hey, I can get it for a good price. I'm like, well, you know, you probably spend more than it's worth fixing that IF can. And last, you know, even though this is a Tram, it's like, why did I go into Browning, and why does Browning, I mean, why does this Tram have that Browning type IF can I described? Well, one of the engineers for Browning, who were making the two-piece, you know, Browning Golden Eagles, and was very popular at the time, he said, you know, hey, let's make a radio just as good or even better and put it in one cabinet instead of having a two-piece. And Browning, you know, they didn't want to hear none of that. The Browning Golden Eagles was extremely, you know, popular with the two-piece and the ping, and everybody wanted the Eagle. It was the king of CBs, you know, at the time, and probably still is, I think. But anyway, this engineer for Browning said, well, doggone it, if you won't do it, I quit. And he started the Tram Corporation. And Tram originally stood for transmitters, receivers, amplifiers, and multiplexers. And he came out with the Tram series. You know, the TR series, like this one, was one of the earlier ones they came up with. This is the TR-27E, which is the last of them. And they made improvements, you know, over the, you know, design and over the decades. They, you know, came out with the bigger meter for this and some AGC and other differences. And then they stopped production on this and came out with the Tram Titan series and added the mechanical filter. And then the Titan 2, I think, had SSB, and the 2A, they got rid of the steel case design and the rack handles that the Titan had, and they put it in a wood case. And the tubes got very expensive to make, you know, during those days. So they came out with the Titan 3, which is like a DAC. It had a, no, it was all transistor, the Titan 3. And the CBers went, no, 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 it's a Tram. We want tubes. And the Titan 3 was pretty much a flop, even though it had the Collins filter, but it was all transistor. So Tram came out with the Titan 4, which is like a DAC, where it's all transistor with a tube final. So anyway, that's going to be it for this. I love this TR-27E. We're gonna finish it off. We're gonna finish that one off, and who knows what we'll do with the second one. But you know, second one, it looks pretty darn good too, you know, just not quite as good as the other, you know, the one I'm keeping. And these old boat anchors, not a lot of caps. Let's see, it's a little dustier. What does go wrong is the crystals can get off frequency, and it looks like that one's missing a two. A couple. I don't know what's going on with that mod. They put a pot across the speaker. Like, what's up with that? You know, why they do that? You know, that would make a lousy volume control, you know, internally. I don't know. One thing I did find about this one, you know, going back to it, it originally had less capacitance than it needed here, and the manual receive was way off. It was way up. What I think they did is they used a VFO on the transmit, and they raised the frequency of the manual or the receive, and they used it for uppers. It's what I think they were doing with this one. It's not hard to change the frequency of the manual by changing these caps right here. All of those are in parallel with the tuner, and you could add more to lower it and go less to raise the frequency of the tuner. But of course, when you do that, it's not gonna match the dial. Even when the Browning Mark III's done it in their later ones, they came out with a dual dial, you know, for the uppers. But this was back during the 23 channel only days. Okay, I got long with it. Didn't mean to. I was just showing off my latest grand prize. I'm happy with this one. Bye.